Yeah, I started formulating the idea rolling in my mind in 2018. And then I actually launched it in 2019.
Was it like a moment? Like, were you walking somewhere, or were you like driving somewhere and you saw somebody walking, or what was it, right?
So you're going to like this. I was listening to a podcast.
Welcome back to Interrupt KC, the Kansas City podcast, where we dedicate ourselves to people, places, and things right here in Kansas City. It's my boy JL.
Let's go.
I'm your man D-Rod. What's up, JL?
Man, feeling good, man. You know, weather hopefully getting a little cooler.
Yeah.
Right? Even though it's a little warm this week, but
yeah, they say it's the last week getting warm, but whatever.
Yeah, I think the Royals are going to miss the playoffs. That sucks.
Man,
the Chiefs 0-2.
Man, look, it's okay. It's okay.
I don't know. It's hurting me.
It's okay.
I hear so much crap from
it was a shitty weekend for Canelo, right? It was a shitty weekend for the Chiefs.
But shout out
right?
to Bud Crawford, man.
Yeah, hey man, I brought up Bud. I was telling Rachel, man, I was telling Wifey, man, that I was talking about Bud last year, man. I was talking about Bud last year when we were with Isaac.
Dude's the real deal, man. Can't nobody hate him.
And Jorge, man, and yeah, man. But hey, listen, I want to give a shout out to all of our friends, man.
Yes.
That we met up with and had the pleasure of going to the farmhouse, man.
Yep.
Right.
Big shout out. Big shout out to Vince Paredes, man, Marty, the whole farmhouse team.
The whole team, man.
Yeah, everybody that came, man. Man, that was so much fun, man.
Yeah, no doubt. We're definitely going to do it again. That's going to be the first of many, I believe. And we're going to probably have, hopefully, some additions, man. Some additions to the next ones, man, for sure.
A lot of people have been like, I want to go to the next one. I want to come to the next one. So, yeah, man, be on the lookout for that. I'm excited about that, man. I think it's the start of something big, man. I'm glad that we could lead that, for the city, all the Latino, Hispanic content creators, man. Where you at? Come out, holler at us on Interrupt KC at Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Shoot us an email, interruptkc@gmail.com.
That's what's up. Let's do a salute, man, and talk.
And I think, D-Rod, we need to interrupt our guest this evening. And before we do that, I want to give another shout out to somebody.
Okay, let's do it, man.
My friend, longtime high school friend, Letty. I know her as Leticia Garcia. Letty, because she was like, I listen to you guys all the time. You guys need to do Lisa with Urban Hikes. And I was like, okay, we'll say less. We'll make that happen. That was a while back.
Yeah.
We got around to it finally. So with that, man, we're going to interrupt our guest.
Let's do it, man.
And by interrupt, you already know we mean introduce our guest. None other, D-Rod, than the one, the only Lisa Peña.
What
is up, Lisa?
What's up? Super happy and excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking time.
Okay, so you walk Urban Hikes, Kansas City. We're here, big shout out, another shout out, D-Rod. Vanya Soto, we're here at Monarca KC, right? Man, big shout out to Vanya for giving us this space, this opportunity to come here, come check out this space, West Bottoms. Great location, man.
Yeah,
come check out this art space, man.
She does a lot of things on the first Fridays. I mean, she has a lot of celebrations and things going on. If you guys haven't ever been down here yet, please come check it out, man. She got a lot
Have you ever been here, Lisa?
Yes, I've been here a lot of times, actually.
You have?
Yeah. Sometimes we've brought groups by to we'll have an urban hike, and then we've ended here with adult groups, even with kids groups before. She's talked with the girls. We've done art projects with her. So this is a space that we've definitely come into with our urban hiking groups.
Nice.
And then we walk by here actually on our regular West Bottoms urban hike. So even if it isn't open, we always give her a shout out as we walk by.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, shout out Vanya for that, man. Lisa, again, it's a pleasure to be here with you. But I mean, you didn't just wake up and decide, I'm sure, like, hey, I'm just going to start walking around the town and telling people about it, right? And the thing we love to do, Lisa, is we love to just try to grab the origins of the human being we are talking to. So if you don't mind, spend a couple minutes with us talking about where are you from exactly? Where is Lisa from?
Yes. Well, I'm originally from KCK, from Rosedale.
Let's go. Rosedale, stand up. Right. D-Rod, you already know I'm Rosedale proud, baby.
I know Rosedale.
Hey, Rosedale put out, man.
That's right. That's where I'm from. That's where my parents still live. And now I've been in Kansas City for most of my life, except for 5 years when I was living in the Dominican Republic. So I feel like that's a big part of my story. Yeah, that's a big part of my story as well. I went originally as a Peace Corps volunteer and was there for 3 years.
Like out of high school? Or
I went out of college. So fresh out of college. I was 22 years old. Man. And it was crazy. I lived in the middle of the country in a small rural community it's actually called Los Platanitos. So it's a really cute name. And I worked there with youth and health and HIV and AIDS prevention. And I work with women and nutrition.
Right.
And then I came back to Kansas City and then moved back there later. So I've lived there for a total of 5 years. And and the second time I worked in the workforce and there with everyone else. And so that's a large part of my story because I feel like living in the Dominican Republic helped me to be very much a risk taker, like with business, with just, trying things, being persistent.
Like give an example. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So when I think about being a risk taker, for example, I did try a lot of different things when I was in Peace Corps, and meaning, for example, I went to this community where no one knew me, and I was supposed to work with youth. But first I had to find the youth who wanted to work with me.
Right.
So it was a lot of, hey.
Well, you're young already still too.
Yeah, exactly. And at the time I was 22, and the youth that I was working with were like 15, 16, 17. Yeah. And so I didn't feel too different from them. Yeah. And I think that might be why mainly I worked with youth and women, but I didn't work with any of the higher ups in the community because I was so young. Yeah. But I would talk about, what my goals were but also it wasn't that I came in with these goals. It was, I had to find out what did the community need.
Right.
And that's kind of risky, like to talk to people and that I don't know and figure out, what are the needs in the community. Yeah. And so I did that.
Well, probably even them trying to open up to you was probably a challenge in itself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Did you, when you were down there, you said after college, so you're in your early 20s. Yeah. Where'd you go to college, by the way?
Yeah, I went to Azusa Pacific University in Southern California.
Okay, awesome. And what'd you study?
So at the time I studied liberal studies, which was focused on elementary education.
Got you.
But then I have my master's from UMKC in public administration.
Okay. Where I was going with that, Lisa, is just to say you were young.
Yeah.
Right? And so when you went to the DR, you're by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're a young female by yourself in DR. Did you speak Spanish? Did you speak Spanish?
Yeah, so I spoke some, but I didn't speak it. I had learned more Mexican Spanish. I had studied abroad.
We all did.
And so the Spanish I spoke was more like Mexican Spanish. And when I got to Dominican Republic, the Spanish is so different there that I felt like, I was like, well, I thought I knew Spanish, but I am not understanding anything. Right. But now I feel like I can speak Spanish and talk to anyone from any country because of my experience in the Dominican Republic.
Sure, what about some Cubanos?
Los cubanos también los entiendo. Sí, claro, puedo hablar con ellos también.
I can quick.
Yes, I know they have the way they talk is like this rhythm. Pero yo
like
los entiendo, hablo con ellos.
While you talking Spanish. No. That's super cool though. Yeah. That's super cool. So you became fluent in Spanish. Did that happen in the first year maybe?
It happened. Probably, no, it didn't happen in the first year. By the time I was in my third year there, I felt extremely fluent, but I still had some trouble with vocabulary. And still there are some words in Spanish that I don't always know, but I feel like I'm able to have conversations really well. I actually married someone now from the Dominican Republic, and we speak Spanish at home.
Okay.
So if we're out with our friends that speak English, we speak English. But when we're together, we always speak Spanish.
Sure.
So that helps me to keep it up for sure. But I was somewhat fluent when I got there because of the Mexican Spanish I had learned.
Right.
But it took a couple years to really feel comfortable.
So when you went to the DR originally, you said it was for the Peace Corps, right? So there was like some actual focus work that you're supposed to get done.
Yes.
And did you go with a group of people or just you?
Yeah, there was a group. We went with a group of about 50 people, but we were spread out all through the country.
Oh, okay.
So just like D-Rod said, I mean, I was alone, and I was alone. There were some other volunteers that were about 30 minutes away riding a bus, like taking public transportation to get to their communities. So we would get together and sometimes go to the small town if we wanted to buy groceries that were more than what we could get like in our very rural areas.
Right.
But I was by myself. I lived with a host family for about 8 months, and then I had my own little house, con mi propia casita, and it was
Did you feel safe?
Nice. I did actually.
Okay.
I did feel safe, and I think it's because when I first got there, since I lived with a host family, they took me around. When I went to meet everyone, when I went to talk to the people in the community to find out what the needs were, because I did a survey at the beginning with about 250 families. I went with youth.
Okay.
So they introduced me. So it never was just me by myself. The youth they really wrapped me up in their arms, I feel, and helped me to like have that confianza with the rest of the people, have that trust so that people, there never was any attempt for harm or anything. And it's a type of community where you leave your door open and people just walk into your house. And I wish we had that in the U.S.
Yeah, it's pretty opened up down there like that. I'm imagining them smaller towns or whatever it may be, right? Do you keep in contact with any of them still?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes.
The thing I was thinking about, Lisa, is like, generally speaking, when people join the Peace Corps like that, like there's a calling or a passion they feel inside, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, talk about that. Like, where do you feel like that came from for you?
Yeah,
I mean, is that something when you were young and you just saw, or what was it? Was it hanging out around this guy named Jose and you were like, oh man, these people need help?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that question. Not that many people ask me that question, and
that's why we're Interrupt KC.
That's right. Yeah, your questions are really good. I feel like when I was in middle school and high school, I always was really interested in community service. Just the idea of community service, like what can I do? And it just seems so exciting to serve in the community. And I remember even getting an opportunity one time to do something with an organization similar to Habitat for Humanity, and I was just so excited to be able to do something that was organized to serve others. And then later, I remember when I was in high school, we had someone come from El Centro to recruit students to volunteer at El Centro. And I did that. And then I would just look for different community service opportunities.
Is this when you were like middle school, elementary school, high school?
When I was at Sumner in high school, I would volunteer at El Centro because it was just right. I mean, it's so close. It was like 10 minutes from my house.
Sure.
And then later, once I was in college, I realized, wow, there's a whole organization that can pay for volunteers to live in another country and serve the community. And I thought, wow, it actually is something where the volunteers do work that's supposed to be sustainable, and it actually can make a difference. And so that calling was a big calling for me because it was different than other trips where you had to raise funding to do it, but it was, we actually received a small stipend. It was a small stipend. And then at the same time, I really wanted to learn Spanish well.
Okay.
From the time I was little, probably when I was about 3 or so, I noticed that my mom speaks Spanish, and she's half Bolivian and half Chilean. And came to the U.S. when she was 11. And I remember once I noticed when I was little, pre-kindergarten, I noticed that she had friends and that she would speak to only in Spanish, or her parents or her sisters.
Or when she didn't want you to know something.
Exactly. And I thought, I want to learn that. So my entire life, I've been doing different things to seek it out. And I felt like if I go, I have to be completely immersed. And so it was dual. It was both learning, having that deep desire to want to learn Spanish and this opportunity to truly serve in another country.
we kind of skipped right over your family dynamic growing up, but was it just you and your mom, or what?
It was my mom, dad, and my sister.
Okay.
And
Okay.
So, and my dad's from here. He's from Missouri.
Missouri. Okay. And your sister, does she do anything like you?
She is the person who comes with me on all of my exploratory hikes when I'm out and about, exploring different neighborhoods.
Sure.
I'm like, Sarah, come with me. And she's the one who comes with me either running or walking the neighborhoods.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out Sarah.
Shout out Sarah, man, for that.
Yeah.
So you said you came back, you lived here for a bit, and then you went back to the Dominican Republic, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what was your intent when you went back to the Dominican?
Yeah, I think so. I was dating my husband, who I married, we rekindled.
Oh, those boys!
Yeah.
That's
those
right,
boys.
Man. I was about to say it's somebody, man. It's somebody.
That's right. So that's where I went back, and then we got married there and lived there for a while, and then returned to. Oh, he came to the U.S. for the first time, but then it was returning for me to come back to Kansas City.
How close were you to staying down there?
Ooh.
I mean, because and I wonder if is that a thing too, though? Like, because if you went with a group of 50 or so, right? I mean, is it common for some people? I mean, this may be for any other country or any other place. You know, if they go to places like that, like they fall in love with it so much.
Man,
you know, is that something common?
Yeah. Well, my Peace Corps contract was for 2 years, and I stayed for a third year. So I did stay for an extra year when almost everyone else went in my group returned home. So I did stay for that third year. And then the second time I was there, I was completely separate from Peace Corps. Yeah. And
You're just living.
Just living and working. And I have a lot of friends there. I have a church that I really love there. Yeah. And I mean, there's so many good reasons to say. I think that, I mean, for the question, how close was I to stay there? It's hard to say, because one thing that was kind of hard is that we both had professional jobs, and I felt, though, that I had to have a side hustle just to be able to make ends meet, to just buy things like milk and cheese that are just like
basics.
Yeah. So not even to go on fancy vacations. Yeah. So we started a muffin business, and it was banana bread muffins, because there's bananas all over the place, and that was a niche because banana bread wasn't that common at the time.
Oh man, I bet that was so good and fresh.
They were so good. So we started that, and once we did that, we felt like we could have a little bit of extra spending money. But I feel that it's hard there to accumulate wealth when you can work the same job here or there, and it's hard. It's hard to accumulate wealth there.
You know what? I think you know what? I'm just gonna jail. I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Yeah.
Maybe you should start that banana bread deal here as a side hustle, right?
I
love banana bread.
I would be a customer.
I would definitely be a customer. I love banana bread, and I'm sure you master that to a perfection.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. Yeah.
Hey, everybody's doing side hustles.
Man, especially with food.
Especially with food.
Yeah.
So, Lisa, you come back to Kansas City, and I think, is there a time that you spent doing something, maybe in a professional career that you talked about, or something else before Urban Hikes KC? Or, can you talk about that time period when you came back to Kansas City?
Yeah.
Your husband was new to the U.S. So what was that like? I mean, was he like, blown away? I hate this place? Or was he like, this is pretty cool?
He was, shocked with everything.
Yeah, there was a little bit of everything. He never said he hated it. He actually loves Kansas City. The places he doesn't like are like the giant cities like New York, and because we went there because he has family there.
Yeah,
and
a lot of Dominicans up there though.
What's your husband's name?
Yeah, Henry.
Shout out Henry.
Shout out Henry.
Yeah. And he really likes Kansas City because it has there's a lot of trees here. I mean, he's from a very rural area where there's trees, there's cows, there's chickens around. They grew.
Which explains why he don't like them big cities, because there ain't no trees in those big cities.
Exactly. But we still have that here. We have our hiking trails, our bike trails. We bike a lot together.
Right.
So my husband really likes it here.
And when you guys came back, I mean, what were you doing? What were you guys doing?
Yes, I got a job at Girl Scouts, and I was the manager of the Hispanic Initiative. So I was the one that would interact with mainly the Spanish-speaking families who wanted to be in Girl Scouts, but there was a language barrier there.
Yeah.
So I supported a lot of the moms who wanted to be troop leaders, and I helped them to be troop leaders. And it was like I held their hand through the process.
You know, I think I met you when you were doing that.
Really? Possibly.
With Young Latino Professionals.
Yes.
I think I met you when you were doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. The first time, I met you again. I was like, hey, I think I know her.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I was part of Young Latino Professionals, which is such a good organization because I still see a lot of the people that are part of it.
They're all elected officials now and running organizations and everything.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's where I worked. I was there for 5.5 years, and then I started my business while at Girl Scouts.
Oh, okay.
But then I realized that if I really wanted my business to grow, I needed to dedicate full time to it.
And your business is Urban Hikes? Okay,
yes,
Urban Hikes. And is it Urban Hikes KC?
Yeah, it's Urban Hikes KC or Urban Hikes Kansas City. You can call either one.
Okay.
Nice. What's our website?
It's urbanhikeskc.com.
Okay.
.com.
And is that your handle on IG and all your socials as well?
Yep, Urban Hikes KC on Instagram and Facebook.
Excellent. So about what year is this then that you actually started formulating this?
Yeah, I started formulating the idea rolling in my mind in 2018. And then I actually launched it in 2019.
Was it like a moment? Like, were you walking somewhere, or were you like driving somewhere and you saw somebody walking, or what was it, right?
So you're going to like this. I was listening to a podcast and
Ah.
I got inspired. I was listening to a podcast about a lot of different side hustles called Side Hustle Nation.
Okay.
And I heard an interview by someone who does a similar business in California, in San Francisco. Her name is Alex Kennan, and her business is Urban Hiker San Francisco. And I heard her interview.
Okay.
And I was sold. It was one of those moments that I knew that I had to do something similar.
Yeah. Well, nobody was doing it.
Yeah, no one was doing it in Kansas City.
Right.
And
not like a podcast. Everybody's doing one now. Damn it.
And I reached out to her, though, to make sure she wasn't planning on doing it here because I didn't know if she was planning on expanding.
Okay.
And she wasn't, and she was so supportive. And that was what helped to keep my idea going.
So did you contact her and ask her ideas and stuff and how you should get going?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
That's
I called
nice.
her, and she was nice to even have a meeting with me on the phone.
Yeah.
And then I have family in San Francisco, so we all went on an urban hike with her company,
Wow.
and I met up with her. So it was real. I mean, I was like, because I liked her idea so much, I didn't want to just take it without. I didn't want to take her inspiration without really having her blessing.
Did you know, what? I mean, obviously, the idea of walking around the city, basically, right? I mean, you're doing a lot more of that. You do a lot of other different things today, I would imagine, than you did in 2019 when you started.
Yeah.
So originally, let's go back to those days.
Yeah.
Originally, with Urban Hikes KC, what was your main focus?
Yeah, my main focus was having a really exercise-oriented urban hike that highlighted the history and the art of the city.
Okay.
And so it's very similar. I just have about 20 different routes now when I started only with one.
Sure, that's what I was saying.
And then the exercise, the idea for it to be really exercise-oriented is different. I thought we would be going at a fast pace the entire time, 6 miles.
Come on, keep up,
exactly.
keep up.
JL ain't going.
Go.
I'm sorry. I ain't signing up for those early days.
Come on, man.
Hell, give me a bike. We can walk. You can walk.
Exactly. And then I found that the people in Kansas City had a reaction like what you're saying. Yeah. And I realized, 6 miles might be kind of long, especially at a fast pace. And so I toned it down a little bit.
6 miles is an easy, hour and a half maybe?
Well, it would they last about 3 hours with us because we stop and we talk about what we're seeing.
Yeah. Oh, I got
if
you,
you're
I got
walking
you.
6 miles on your own, maybe an hour and a half, maybe longer.
So not only are you doing this exercise still, but you're also learning about the area that you're walking in,
Exactly.
and there's historical landmarks and whatever it is that you're talking to your clients with.
Yeah.
Right. So you're kind of like having to do some education on your own.
Yeah, we do so much research.
Yeah.
It took me a whole year to come up with my first route. And it's a mixture of walking around I sometimes run the area because I enjoy running and looking at everything, figuring out the route, but then actually figuring out the stories behind the buildings and behind the local businesses or behind the art that's there. And that takes a lot of time.
It does.
I got to ask, though, what was that first route? What was the first one you did?
My first route was our Crossroads West Side hike, which we still have.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it started at Liberty Memorial and then went down to Union Station. And then it went through the Crossroads, and we saw a lot of murals. We walked through a lot of alleyways in the Crossroads. Then we went up to...
Okay, which way are you going from Union Station to the Crossroads?
Union Station just directly north. So if you think about Freight House
Are you going
District,
over the bridge, over the tracks?
Over the Freight House Bridge, which is the one that that comes from behind Union Station, and it drops out right by Jack Stack.
Jack Stack, yeah.
Yes, and then we walk in different directions through the alleyways, but all the time staying west of Main for this route.
Okay.
And then going up past Kaufman Performing Arts Center on 17th Street to West Side. And then talking about the history of the West Side.
Yeah.
And then, so this is, I'm going to give you the long route, the original route, which we still do occasionally, we still go up to Observation Park.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, which a lot of people don't know about. There's some hidden steps in the hillside there.
There is,
where they knock down the old projects.
And then, so right there, we go up there, Observation Park, and then we would go west side. There's a bridge that I call the Hidden Bridge that looks over, it's by Mulkey Square Park, by where the bull is. And so there's a bridge there, so we would go over that.
Yeah.
And then for the long route, then we would go to Quality Hill and Case Park. And see some awesome West Bottom views, and then come back on the streetcar. But that was what was about 6.5 miles.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
and you
got
to limit that too with, well, not only are you doing your research and talking about these historical places, you're doing the exercise, and you got to figure out the distance.
Yeah.
For some people, people can't do, and they're not willing to. Do the whole 6 miles, right? So you got to shorten it up for however many.
Do you give them like a stress test before they go on that route? Like, hey, we got to stress test you first.
No, but we all on our website, we stressed how we're going at first, we stressed how we went at a fast pace, how there are times that your heart rate will go up. We said that many times throughout, things like that. But then I shortened it because it just was too much.
Some people need breaks.
Oh yeah, and we do include at least one break in between, but we've made it now where we say the level of difficulty on our website. If it's 3 miles, 5 miles,
the grade of it, whatever it may be.
Yeah, if there's steep hills, if they're flat, because it wasn't our audience. Our audience is actually mainly Kansas Cityans, and so they.
And that's what I'm saying. You're doing a lot of research besides just your running. You got to figure out all that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because we do the research on the route and even crosswalks. Where is there a crosswalk, or is there a section that feels dangerous because of the way the cars come? In addition to all the history research we do, we also have to figure that out. So we walk our routes numerous times, like even after we have all the history down, just to make sure it flows well.
Well, I'm just going to say, if ever I go, and I'm down to try it, but I might need
the 6 mile one.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I might need a pit stop.
I was down until you said that.
I might need a pit stop at somewhere for a cold beverage somewhere.
Yes,
like,
we do. We do
that. So let's take a drink break and then
give me the backpack with the straw, the little mini keg on the back.
The hat with the straws on.
Yeah, but like I said, we've pared them down. They're not 6 miles anymore. We really listen to our audience on what our audience wanted. So
listen, you could, I'm sure you do have an audience that's like, hey, give us the 6 mile one, right?
Yeah, we have some more challenging ones that we do that they're not quite at 6 miles, but they're more challenging in the.
See, and I'm the type of person that if I do something like that, JL, I do want to challenge myself. I want to push it to where I can go, and that's a lot of people that want to do that as well. You know what I mean? Like, 6 miles, I could do it. I did a 5K once, which is just over like 3 miles or whatever, right? Yeah. And man, it felt great. It felt good, but I always try and do that anyway, trying to stay a little active.
But like once you cross the Union Station, you're looking uphill the whole way.
Yes.
And then you gotta come back down.
People don't realize that, man, how hilly that is.
Yes.
Like until you get like a 30% into it, and you're like, whoa.
Listen, and Lisa, and this is a honest to God truth too. People don't understand the littlest bit of hills until you're walking it.
Yeah.
I mean, something as small as just barely any type of grade on street walking, sidewalk walking, or outside walking is absolutely the killer, man, because there's so many.
Yeah.
Did you ever, like, as you develop more routes, did you ever think, like, or is there a route that you thought would be good and you're like, yeah, this might be too much for somebody because it's a lot for you?
Like, you got to name it like the badass route or something.
You know what I mean?
Brutal.
Like, hey, if
the
you really
like,
want to hike KC, climb this in Roanoke Park and
the
do
bragging rights.
You know, all that.
That is such a good idea now you're giving me ideas to,
you
for
gotta
other
name
hike
them.
routes. I mean, we name them, but they're, I don't know. I mean, I would say my first route was the one that probably was like, no, it's too much. And we've pared them down since then.
So you have 20 now.
Yeah, we have about 20 different
20
routes.
routes.
Yes.
Wow.
Throughout the city.
Yeah, throughout the city, but mainly in this urban area.
Urban,
so
right.
in addition to Merriam and Shawnee, we do have one urban hike in each Merriam and Shawnee, and where we highlight the history. There's a lot of really interesting.
So with
That's
this,
awesome.
with that being said, that you have to have people that help you.
Yes.
So you now have a team.
Yes, I have a team of 11 awesome guides.
Wow,
awesome.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Let's shout them out. Who are they?
Yeah.
And which one's been with you from day one?
Okay.
Anybody?
Yeah. So the one who has been with me for the longest is Lori, and I had two more guides at the beginning, Rebecca and a different Lori that are no longer with me, but I have one that has been with me for about 5 years named Lori also. And then if you want me to shout them out, I can come up. We have Lori, we have Christy, we have Asia, Gary, Chad,
shout out.
Michelle.
Is any of them
if they're
walking
listening,
right
Brittany.
now tonight?
Not right now. We do all kinds of corporate urban hikes, and so often we would have something like in the afternoon, but at this moment right now, nobody is walking. Yeah.
So you do. So now you have businesses contact you to do this.
A lot of businesses
That's
contact
amazing.
us.
Wow.
And it's,
just like because you said 2019, right, is when you actually started the business.
Yeah.
2018, you were putting it together. Then COVID comes.
Yes.
And people are like, yeah, you either have to social distance, you got to stay away from each other, But then people,
outside,
I'm sure, and you talk about this if you want. Did you have people like, get me outside, get me fresh air, please? This is perfect for me. Did you get that?
Yes, that is exactly what happened. So it's really interesting because when I started my business, I thought that my primary audience would be tourists. And then, as we know, tourism stopped during COVID.
Yeah.
And then people said exactly what you're saying, that get me out, I want to be outside. And so we had our urban hikes. We had a limit of 10 people. We would stay socially distanced.
Yeah.
We had our masks on. And it really grew in Kansas City with Kansas Cityans.
Yeah.
So my primary
People were doing the 6 mile one with a mask?
At the beginning, but I think I had already toned it down a little bit because that was already year 2. So
That'd have been brutal.
That's good. Good for them, whoever that was. I'm proud of you. That's awesome, though. I mean, it seems like that would be the reaction from people, especially around then, right? Like, oh man, like we need to be outside doing this.
Right. And so many things were closed at the time. So it was something that I had to offer that could still be open. And it actually was a time that my business grew. So
here's what's funny, D-Rod.
Yo.
I took my family on an urban hike whenever in COVID.
Really?
You know that what was it, 6 weeks we had to not go anywhere?
Yes, to stay at home.
So like after like week 3, I'm like, get in the car, we're going on an urban hike. I mean, we didn't walk.
Yeah, nice.
But you know what I did, Lisa? and I'm saying it because shout out Rosedale. I drove them the route I used to walk to school.
Love it. Yes,
through Rosedale.
Yes.
And my kids and my wife were like, "You walked this far?" And I'm like, this was nothing. Like, do the projects and I'm like, this is where I walked, Yeah. Then I walked up to where we used to live when I was our earliest childhood memories. Shout out South Mill. Any of my South Millians.
Everybody knows South Mill was that hill.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's a hill.
Yeah, that is a hill, and we used to walk that hill. But I did that, Lisa, because it wasn't an urban hike, but to me it was an urban exploration for my family, because it was like, look, this is kind of where I used to walk as a kid,
Yeah,
so that's pretty awesome.
And we have a Rosedale urban hike, and it's so close to my heart just because I'm from Rosedale.
Let's go. You go by the arch?
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah.
Man, I think I want to sign up for one.
Definitely.
I think I do.
So, you hit on this, and I got to ask this question because, you said earlier, you thought that your earliest customers or your customer base would be tourists. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you get some of that now, but talk about why, or what is the feedback you get from actual Kansas Cityans? Because and not just that, but why should they do an urban hike with you? Because as us, like, we grew up in urban core, right? But we may not have seen certain parts of the city evolve like you have now, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So can you hit on all those things?
Yeah.
A little bit there.
Yeah. So there's, I think, multiple answers to your questions, but people say one of the main things that people tell us is, wow, I have lived here in Kansas City my entire life, and I had no idea that all of this that you just showed me existed.
Right.
Because we always try to take maybe the route that is the route that people don't take.
Sure.
And
the less attractive route.
Yes, yeah, but it actually ends up being more attractive.
Yeah.
Because of the history that's there. Maybe there's
all
art
the hidden
there.
treasures.
Yes, there's so many hidden treasures in Kansas City. So there's that aspect, and our Google reviews share it all. I'm so grateful for the Google reviews that we have when people share about how they liked our hikes so much or loved our hikes.
That's awesome.
Because they saw the things that they didn't know about, and then they will go back to those areas. And we often promote the local businesses. Like I mentioned, we walk by Masquesi and we give a shout out to Vanya.
Yeah.
And so often the people will come back to the businesses that we share about, or the places even that we stop inside.
Sure.
So then you touched on, like, growing up in the urban core, and we grew up in the same neighborhood.
Right.
And growing up, and most people, maybe they didn't know they wouldn't have even gone to explore Rosedale. Right. They would have been like, oh, I'm happy in my...
Oh, that's where KU Med is.
Yes. and maybe felt completely comfortable in the suburbs. And what I like to do is show the areas that people don't always go to. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're called urban hikes, and they aren't nature hikes like in the woods. Even though that is one of my passions, going in the woods, but they're urban hikes because so often people don't go maybe to all the different urban neighborhoods, and I like to show all these hidden treasures that are actually there.
That's awesome.
Is there a certain amount group, like what's your group amount that you have to have?
Yeah, we have if there is a private urban hike, we have to have a $300 minimum. So even if we have 5 people, it needs to be $300.
Okay.
But our ideal group size is about 10 to 12 people.
Right.
And you talked about price. How much is it for somebody to sign up? And do they just sign up on your website or whatever socials? Yeah,
we have a calendar on our website that we have urban hikes every single weekend, usually one urban hike on Fridays, a couple on Saturdays, and usually 1 or 2 on Sundays.
Okay.
And then someone just signs up. It's $38 a person for the basic urban hike if there isn't any food included. And then if there's food, like we have a wine and cheese hike. And so that sounds like up your alley. You're talking about stopping and getting a drink somewhere.
Yeah, we need a tequila and taco.
And that's one thing too, though. Like when I did my little old 5K, right, years ago, man, after the fact, I was so hungry. I mean, you gotta replenish everything, right? I mean, that's where they say the carbs come in. You gotta eat your carbs and all that.
Right.
And I think I went to go eat breakfast after that with my family. I did one of those Girls on the Run My daughter did that, right? So me and my wife took my 2 daughters, and we did the little 5K. And at that time, it was over by the Legends. Anyways, after that, I smashed a bunch of food. So I could see myself doing that after that.
Yeah,
hike.
People are always hungry after urban hikes, and that's why we always like to point out the local restaurants on them, because then often they'll just stop at a local restaurant that they saw on the hike afterwards.
Got to get that energy.
Have you had somebody do all 20?
Ooh, we have someone named Sarah Taylor, she has done a whole lot of them. If someone does over 10, we'll give them a T-shirt.
Oh wow!
Really? And so we have a couple.
Want a t-shirt.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, yeah, we might. I can definitely get you a T-shirt.
Yeah. So you had a couple of people do over 10.
Yes, but I would say probably Sarah Taylor. Shout out to Sarah Taylor.
She's a beast with it. Huh?
She has come on almost every single urban hike that we've had.
Shout out to Sarah Taylor, man.
If there was one that you would tell people, hey, if you want to get, I won't say the best because people are going to like different things about each one, right? But let's say if you want to see a part of Kansas City maybe you're not as familiar with and you just want to experience one, what is the one you would tell them to go to, and can you describe it?
Yeah, I would say, this is a hard question because we really try to show parts of Kansas City that people aren't as familiar with. Mm-hmm. But I would say that it would be a tie between our Quindaro Ruins urban hike and our Strawberry Hill urban hike.
Oh, okay.
I would say, so to describe the Quindaro Ruins urban hike, the Quindaro Ruins is an area where there are actual ruins of limestone foundations that are along the bluff next to the Missouri River. Mm-hmm. And it is a sacred place because during the time of slavery, there were people who were enslaved would escape from Missouri over the Missouri River and set foot on free ground for the first time right there in the town of Quindaro. Wow. And it was, so just imagine an extremely inclined, steep hillside bluff next to the river. There would have been a lot of woods. There's still woods there. It's a wooded. This one is an actual nature hike because they're woods. And so we tell the stories of the people who escaped slavery. And we also tell the story of Western University, which was the only HBCU in Kansas ever.
Yeah.
And it was on those grounds. Now you can no longer see any remains, sadly, of Western University. But we tell the stories of Western University. And that hike is it's just incredible because most people maybe have heard the name Quindaro, but they don't know. They haven't gone there themselves, or they haven't gone specifically to the area where the ruins are. So that's probably the most unique urban hike.
Yeah.
And it's definitely going to a place where most people in Kansas City haven't spent.
How do you learn all that history?
We do a lot of research. So there are multiple ways that we do research. The Missouri Valley Room in the Central Library is an excellent resource for us that has books. You can go there and get a book on Rosedale, on any even small neighborhood in the area, and there are lots of articles that they have available online.
Okay.
So we do a lot of research using their resources.
Okay.
We also talk to business owners. For example, there are business owners that are in really historic buildings, so we'll talk to those people, and they tell stories. We see what's on their website.
Okay.
But it's definitely a mixture.
Okay.
There's one other resource that's a really excellent resource for us called Clio, and it's an app that you can walk around anywhere in the city, and it will pull up historic landmarks and tell you the story of them. Yeah. And so that's run by a local professor at UMKC, but it's an app that covers nationally. So that's also a great resource for us.
Do you got one in the Westport area?
We have one that...
There's a lot of history over there.
Yes, there is. What we have right now is our Rosedale hike. We've turned it into Rosedale and Roanoke and Volker hike. So it's pretty close to Westport.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of...
Yes.
Ghost shit going on.
Oh.
Right? I mean, do you got any stories about that?
I don't have any of the ghost stories, but I know...
Walking by a house, there's one looking at you.
Yeah, man, look. So I grew up right there at 30th and Roanoke. Is a house that I was born and raised in. And JL knows this, and I swear that house, there was something wrong with that. I won't even refer that to that house as the haunted house. But the crazy thing is that there's other people in that community in that area that have said that there's some things going on. Well, it scared me so much one time that when I was young, right, just a little quick thing about that area, that I went to 3 different libraries to try to find out what the hell is going on with that land. And come to find out, there was the War of Westport, which I'm sure you know, right?
Yeah, the Battle of Westport. Yeah,
the Battle of Westport, Civil War, right? Did you know that, Joe?
Yeah.
And so it was between 18th Street and 63rd Street is what I found out. And the house I lived on was 38th. So it was dead smack middle of the War of Westport.
And they have a shrine about that battle in Luce Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people that don't know.
Yeah, that's on one of our hikes too.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then that you made that connection.
Yeah, I was scared shitless, man. I would see all kinds of crazy
soldiers
stuff.
waiting for him.
Yeah,
when
man,
go
standing out there. Kinds of crazy stuff.
Wow. I was going to ask, though, like, I mean, man, like, you're going into parts of the city that only certain people go to, let's say, like, maybe to do a mural or, you know, maybe they after hours, you know, on the weekends. I mean, you probably run into some interesting situations, I would think, you know? So, I mean, have you?
We have run into a couple interesting situations, or a couple of situations that are, I mean, nothing has been dangerous, actually. Like, maybe there was one dangerous situation, but outside of that, in 6 years, and if there's anything that's like kind of where people are like feel a little weird, we just like, well, we are on an urban hike.
Yeah.
And so it's just part of it because we're out in our community.
Right. Yeah. And I think, I mean, I'm sure people know this, right? But if they don't, maybe this is the first time they're hearing it. But I mean, man, like that's just part of being in the urban core. You know, you're going to see a homeless person or, you know, you're going to see things and experiences that you just don't get in the suburbs or rural communities, right? So that's that true, I feel like, you know, urban experience that you're providing them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's so important for everyone in our city to have those experiences and not to just live in a suburban bubble.
Yeah.
And a lot of our audience lives in the suburbs, and I think that's a big draw to be able to, for us, you know, they come into an urban hike and we show them, you know, where to go and how cool it is, and then it kind of removes that stigma.
Yeah.
Well, just even like that route you said that when you go up to Observation Park, nobody knows. I mean, people that grew up there in that area and up there on the hill know about that stairwell, right? Know about them stairs, know about that. Even the stairs that going up there to Gage Park, right? How it goes down to 23rd Street, Cesar Chavez, you know, Avenue. I mean, nobody outside of the community knows about that, you know, and there's much more stories to go along with that and why it's there or how it got built and what used to be there,
right?
You know? So I mean, that's a great education for the people that want to know about that.
Well, and you know, one of the things. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but one of the things that I'm just like totally like blown away with, Lisa, is the fact that you and your team do all that research.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like you guys are spending, I would guess, hours or have spent hours researching this stuff for people.
Researching it and then putting it together as a route, you know, and then just, man, the getting people's attention to do that and to learn, you know. Man, that's great.
There's somebody on TikTok. There's somebody on TikTok, Lisa. I have to find them and send it to you, but it's a young female. And that's pretty much what she does. She takes like a building in Kansas City and probably goes to the sources you're talking about and tells you the history of that whole building, who the architect was, when it was constructed, why it was constructed, you know, all these things. And I've seen her clips, and I'm just like, man, this is really cool what she's doing. I mean, we'll hope to one day get her on the pod. But I would think that would be something that you would probably enjoy just because you know what it's like to spend hours researching the type of stuff.
Yeah. I need to make sure if you get her name, definitely send it over.
Have you ever maybe found some details about a certain location where you were like, oh man, I didn't know this about Kansas City? I'm sure there's been a lot, right? Or is the most surprising?
Yeah. So there's a place actually a couple blocks from here, the one that if we there's a place that it's called the Darby Trotter Spirit Mall.
Okay.
And it has a sculpture park there and a caboose and what I recently learned is that before that was there, before the caboose was there, before the sculpture park was there, before it was actually turned into a park, bodies were found in that area.
Oh, wow.
And I found that out because I'm part of the Riverfront Heritage Trail, and this park is run and kept up by the Riverfront Heritage Trail, which is a 15-mile trail that goes from KCK to Kansas City, Missouri. And it's a park that we take people there all the time on our West Bottoms urban hike, and I love to go. It's one of my favorite gyms. But to find out that I think maybe in the 80s or 90s that there were bodies found there, were thrown there more than once.
Wow!
So that was something that I found out. But we bring people there all the time now, and it's one of my favorite hidden gems. So I would say, I think that's probably the story that I hear most. Some specific areas where people tell me, no, this was. There was a lot of bad things happening, specific crimes happening, just in maybe certain small pockets.
Yeah. Sure.
And like that pocket of that park right there.
Right.
Do you have a favorite route?
That one is a hard question, but I would probably say the first route that I created, the Crossroads West Side, and then the Strawberry Hill urban hike. That one is it's so cool, Strawberry Hill urban hike, because we're talking about the history of the area. Plus we hit on slavery. Plus we see the river. Plus it's hilly. It just and the local businesses there. It just has so much.
What's the distance of that one?
That one is 4.5 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of our most popular.
Uphill,
actually,
by the way.
no,
do you know?
we do start out with the hill.
I'm thinking about it, and I'm positive. I swear I'm going to do one of those. I don't know which one, but is there ones that you are just assigned to? Or you have a team, so your team is broken down into which route and what person does that.
Exactly.
Does that?
Yes.
Is that how it is?
So I do some of them, but I don't do all the urban hikes myself because that's so much to learn, to be able to dive so deeply.
All of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've experienced them, but I don't give all the urban hikes is what I mean to say. Yeah. Because my team is actually, they've come up with they've done a lot of the research themselves, and I pay them to do the research and coming up with a route. But I'm always, I always meet with them and we'll walk the route and we talk through the research, but I pay them to do the heavy lifting.
Is there a new one you're working on? Is there anything you're pretty set with what you got right now? With
so many routes.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Right now.
North Kansas City.
North Kansas City, we already have a route there.
Oh, okay.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, we have a route in North Kansas City.
What about get on boats and go down the river?
Oh, there you go. That,
No, don't do that. That's a liability.
Don't do that, Lisa.
Don't, as a joke, don't do that.
No, actually, I've had talks about that, but it's exactly that why I haven't, because of insurance.
Do you have one in Liberty? I live in Liberty.
No,
there's
we
a lot of history
have one
in Liberty.
Yes, and some people have approached us about having one in Liberty. Yes, that idea is there.
There's a lot of trails and a lot of stuff up there as well.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And it's pretty urban. I'm joking.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about the history part.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because some of our urban hikes feel more urban than others. Because our Shawnee one doesn't feel very urban, but it's very historical.
Right? Yeah.
We have some in the pipeline, more food related. I think that because we're finding that everybody wants a food stop, so I think that we'll see more food related ones, coming out in the future.
So Columbus Park.
We used to do Columbus Park, and we haven't done it for a while, but that's definitely on our radar because we would mix it with the River Market urban hike.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Park is so cool.
Columbus Park is like a gym, that a lot of people, it's changed so much in the last 5-10 years.
Well, the view, too.
It's
There's
changed.
a hell of a good view of it.
Yeah. So I was just thinking about that, River Market.
Yes.
You have one.
So if anybody's who's interested, and they get on your website and they want to sign up and do all that, let's talk about the gear, the what to wear, shoes, right? What's the right thing?
Don't wear
Hey
Dudes.
Yeah, no, do not wear no Hey Dudes. What's the right type of footwear?
Yeah, I just say comfortable tennis shoes. Unless they're going on the Quindara Ruins urban hike, then we recommend hiking shoes or hiking boots. But tennis shoes work there too. Okay. So the main thing, just tennis shoes, and bringing water. That's the most important thing when it's so hot. And we do our urban hikes. And if someone has one of those little disposable water bottles, it lasts about half an hour.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Is there a certain time of the year that you stop them?
Actually, no. We even have winter urban hikes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, we do. And the winter urban hikes usually have food included because we have to stop inside so we can warm up.
Yeah.
We have a really cool one that we do in January and February and March called Taste Your Way through KCK.
Ooh.
Taste Your Way.
Yes. And so we stop at the Bonito Michoacan Bakery and we
That's
get
the one I'm doing. That's the one I'm doing.
And we have a collaboration with them where they have different pastries for us, like the different pancitos, the conchas, there's the quesadilla salvadoreña, and they will cut it up for our groups, and champurrado.
Oh, I love champurrado, man.
And so they have
I think I might go there after this, now that you mentioned it. Yeah.
And then we also go to El Dorito for tacos on that one. We end at Cortadito, the Cuban coffee shop, and we get cortaditos. And so that one has 3 food stops, and so that one is a winter one because we stop inside and warm up and get the hot drinks.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah.
How man, so you've been doing this for 6 years, right? Ballpark, how many miles have you walked?
I don't know. I used to track,
I'm
but
sure
I don't
you
even have a
did.
tracker anymore.
I'm sure you did. You're like, screw this thing.
Yeah, I don't need it.
Walking so much.
But I would say, I mean, I'd have to do the math, but
Ballpark.
ballpark maybe.
You went to Sumner.
year.
This is easy. Come on, Lisa. You went to Sumner.
Well, let's just say a year,
So,
annually.
Let's say, so let's break it down. So every week I personally give maybe 2 a week. So sometimes I give more. And let's say they're 4 miles each because we toned it down. 10 miles a week.
52.
And so there we go. So
520.
that's 520 and then
Times 6.
that's 520 times 6. So
Come on.
stop making me do the mental math. So it'd be 300 plus, 300 times, we could do the math. Over 300 miles.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're pushing 350 easy.
Yeah.
That's impressive. 350 miles. Wow. And that doesn't include like
every day.
You're going through them beforehand and all that, just researching them and just making sure like, okay, this is safe-ish for us to go through, right? I mean, that's a lot of exercising you're doing just with that.
Some good tennis shoes, man.
Yeah.
So how many times you got to replace those? I mean, I've heard somewhere where it's if you use your tennis shoes for 500 miles, then it's time to put them up, get some new ones.
Okay, I replace mine about every year, and right now I have 2 pairs that I use, but I will need to get a new pair. So I think because I'm doing about 350 miles just for my urban hikes, but I love to run, I love to walk, I love to hike. So
you need a shoe sponsor.
I do.
That's what you need.
I do.
Everybody listening,
So you need to hit up Nike.
Lisa.
Hey, Kansas City's a big deal. We doing urban hikes over here. Mm-hmm. Why don't you sponsor us?
Come holler
That's
at
right.
Urban Hikes.
I'm serious. You need to look that up. Like that's a big opportunity right there.
That is such
especially
a good
if
idea.
you're replacing shoes.
I agree.
Put a name on that.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, how do you feel though, man? I mean, 6 years in, 20, different urban hikes somebody can go through, 11 employees.
That's incredible.
I mean, man, like just from an idea of you heard it on a podcast and you're like, hey, I can do that. Today, 2025, September, where's Lisa? How is she doing with this?
Yeah. I feel really blessed. I never knew that it would have taken so well in Kansas City. I remember I was afraid at the beginning even to share my idea. Like, is it
for sure?
Are people going to want to come out? Or it was at the beginning. I was unsure about it. Yeah. And especially it took a while to actually get going because even though I had hikes available, maybe I would have 2 people come out, 4 people come out. And to see that it's grown so much, I really truly feel like God has helped it to grow.
Amen.
I'm so grateful for the people that I have around me. If it weren't for my guides around me, it wouldn't be like this at all.
Sure.
I mentioned 2 guides that I had at the beginning, Rebecca and Lori, who they're not with me anymore, but Rebecca helped to come up with the Strawberry Hill Urban Hike. And that is like one of our most popular. We have 3 most popular urban hikes, and that is one of the most popular. And really, there was a chain reaction after she came on as a guide. She was my first guide ever. Her name Rebecca, and she works for Visit Kansas City, Kansas.
Hey.
And once she started doing urban hikes, then there was this chain reaction where I started to grow, and then it kept happening. But I feel like I'm just so incredibly grateful for the guides that I have around me, their creativity, and even the support from Kansas Cityans, because they're coming on our urban hikes and coming we have a lot of frequent hikers. I probably owe some more t-shirts to people who have been on more than 10. I've given a few out, but after I hear the podcast,
heard you say you're giving out shirts for 10.
Yeah.
You owe me.
Well, around that time, we're talking about COVID and a little after that, you know. I mean, it's kind of even was said out there, and I'm a firm believer too of getting out there and being active, and that whole movement, let's just say, right, of getting out there and doing things, kind of start blossoming a little bit more too.
Yeah, right? That's so true. I agree. COVID was a catalyst for that. And then also, this is the pride for Kansas City just keeps growing. I feel like even before I started, there was just, people were already wearing the Kansas City t-shirts with the Kansas City heart. And there was so much pride for Kansas City, which wasn't the case when I was younger. Like when we were growing up, I don't remember being so proud to be from Kansas City. But now there's this pride that...
We was proud of Rosedale.
That's right. That's right.
Still
are. And that, though, it's something new probably for the last 10 years, this Kansas City pride. So people want to know more about Kansas City and support local, and that's exactly what my guides and I are doing.
That's amazing, awesome. Man.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. I think you have clearly tapped into a Kansas City market that you take a risk on, right? And you're just like, well, this works over there. Let's see if it'll work here. And, to hear you say that, businesses, corporations are calling you to say, hey, we'd like for our team to do this. And that's become a big deal. I mean, maybe you could talk about that a little bit. I mean, health and wellness has really come into the focus, especially post-COVID. Where people's insurances are tied to wellness points and things like that. I mean, do you participate in that, or does any of your programs count toward any of those things?
I would love to get them to count. I just haven't made the contacts right now, but I would love to, if someone has an idea for that, like a local, I know we have Blue Cross and Blue Shield here in Kansas City, and I just need to get a meeting with them. I don't have a contact there, but
somebody from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, hit up Lisa. Come on. We need those points. That's my insurance too, by the way.
You need somebody from Garmin.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And we've had some.
I think we know somebody.
Do we?
I would love that.
Because and they do a lot of stuff like that too. I think I know somebody at Garmin, and they thrive to have their employees do all kinds, even like on lunch breaks. Like I've been out there to that campus out there, and they got groups of people just out there riding bikes, and then they get back off and do everything.
Yeah.
Well, just a quick example, right? Like I've seen wellness points in past jobs where it's like, oh, if you do this 5K, you just walk.
Yeah.
And it's, 20 points or whatever, right? I mean, you're over here doing 4-mile hikes, like that counts,
Yeah.
That's an exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, so let me ask you that. So is it 2 miles there, 2 miles back? Or is it 4 miles there, 4 miles back? Or?
No, 4 miles round trip. Yeah. So if we say the urban hike is 4 miles, it's round trip. And we always end where we started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to do the 6.
We can make it. We can make a 6 one.
Okay, so if I bring like a group, and when I asked about how many people, like a limitation of people, like is there like a group of like we'll say 5 to 10, or what's a minimum?
We should do an ENTERRUPT KC hike.
Yes.
And have Scribe or Psych or somebody meet us at their mural and explain it.
That would be amazing. Yes.
It is, man. That's call to action, man. There's the call to action.
We could make that happen.
KC hike, man.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of people that want to do it. So was there a certain amount of group, like say only 10 people, 15 people? How many people do you do?
Maximum or minimum? So minimum, I mean, we say a minimum is 3 people, but like I said, if we do a private hike, we need to make that baseline $300. That's what it is for a private hike. And then it feels really big if we have more than 20. So I would say
too many.
Yeah, it feels, and we have voice amplifiers, so even the people in the back can hear, but just we take up an entire city block if there's 20 people. So we'd say we try not to exceed 20, but about, like, the ideal group is about 10 to 15 people.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
We could work on that if you really want to do that.
Yes.
I mean, shoot,
Definitely.
shout out Scribe, Psych, Moya.
Yeah.
I mean, Dink.
Yeah.
Vanya. I mean,
and the coffee shops, like you've had Oyama in here. I see Café Corazon up there. Those are all places we visit.
Man, we'd have some. This would be a true Interrupt KC.
That would be badass. Yeah.
That's fun.
We got to make something like that happen. Anybody watching this, man, you interested, hit us up in the comments, man. Let's do it if you're down.
So have you had that? I mean, because you said you stop at murals and things like that, artwork. Have you had artists meet you out there and explain things like that?
Yeah, we have. So Fem9 is an artist.
Oh yeah, shout out Fem9
who has been painting. She has been doing.
She has some awesome murals.
Yes,
Fem is dope.
Right there behind Los Alamos, she has one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and it's right down the street here under the bridge. She has one of the Carolina Parakeets, and she's been painting murals and doing graffiti writing since the 90s. And she has met a lot of our groups before. So because we've done Girl Scouts, we even did Girls on the Run urban hikes, but Fem9 has specifically met us to talk with Girl Scouts, Girl Scout girl troops. We had another group, Arts Tech, which is a youth program. She met the group and talked. So we've had her speak. Dink, we've collaborated with Dink before when he had his Strawberry Hill studio, where we would stop and actually do. We did there were 2 times where we did art projects in his studio when he had it in Strawberry Hill. So we often do have them come out. So, and if they don't come out, I mean, we don't always ask because we see so many murals in one urban hike. But if we take photos, we work really hard to make sure that we're tagging them. And then when if we talk about the mural, we say this is by this artist. Like, please go to their Instagram, their website. Like, please support them.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say no names on social media, but there's a pretty well-known one that always is posting photos of murals and never tags the artist. And I've seen some of the artists comment like, hey, you can at least tag us on these, And because, that's their art, and they're getting a bunch of that account maybe or maximizing their following from, that type of stuff. But so where do you see this going, Lisa? I mean, is this it? Where do you see this going? And the other thing I wanted to talk about with you is people who have accessibility issues. How can they experience an urban hike?
Yeah. So if somebody is in a wheelchair, we definitely have urban hike routes that work for them. So the main thing is we just ask that they let us know that they're going to come, because there's some sidewalks that they're really raised up by the roots, in the west side. There's roots that have raised them up. But if we know someone is in a wheelchair or has a stroller and they're going to be with us, we think through the route beforehand so that we make sure it's accessible. So we just ask that if somebody is in a wheelchair and wants to come, yes, we definitely have urban hikes for anybody in a wheelchair or with strollers, and just to let us know so that we can think through the route and also make sure that specific route that they're interested in is accessible. And then for the question was and I wanted to say we actually have an urban hike coming up in collaboration with The Whole Person soon that will be for people who are deaf, and we'll have 2 deaf interpreters, and that is in October. We'll be posting it soon, but we're already collaborating with them for that one, and that will be our first one to do where I'll be speaking, and I'll have 2 specific deaf interpreters.
Have you ever thought about doing a virtual option?
So that idea has come up, and I haven't actually done it because I think there's so much in person with that in-person interaction, because it's not just seeing, it's experiencing it like on the ground, and even talking with the other people in the group.
For sure.
So it's more than just me or my guides sharing the history.
Yeah.
There's more that happens there.
It's more personal.
It's more personal, yeah. Because we say, like, we try to create a space that even the people in the group meet each other while they're on their urban hike.
That'll be all like for more moral support or more, to help in case somebody, what they say, or, maybe slowing down a little bit and kind of keep them motivated to keep on walking or something maybe, right?
And I was asking that just because, if people who truly have accessibility issues, if that's something where they can, meet you at a space and you can just go through it with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're going to play this video. This is me talking through this and showing you on a 360 camera, let's say, what it looks like and what it is, because, there's probably people out there who would say, man, I would love to see and experience that, but I physically cannot.
Yeah, that's
so I mean?
true. I would be really open to doing something like that, especially if we had a specific request.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great.
Just thinking about it. It's all, we're moving really fast into the 21st century, and technology is like so fast, evolving. Where you see this going?
Yeah. So I see us going. I mean, there's a lot of ideas there, just like you were saying, different neighborhoods, how I thought of them. I do see us including more food in the future, having that, like I have an idea brewing for a chocolate urban hike, and that's just kind of brewing there. I also see us even having more corporate groups in the future. That's what I really hope for. We have a good amount, like maybe 4 or 5 per month during the nice months, meaning like the spring and the fall. But I definitely see us like going more that way as well.
Yeah.
And I want urban hiking to become a thing where even people just, like you said, you went on an urban hike, even though you're driving, but you were showing your family around. I want that to become a thing in Kansas City, if they're coming out through our business or not, but just, exploring their neighborhood, deeply exploring their neighborhood and the neighborhoods around.
Right.
That's what I really hope, that just awareness of my business will be a catalyst for others to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking and you probably do this already, but like Southwest Boulevard, like if you just started like 14th and Merriam Lane, Southwest Boulevard in Kansas, and just walked into Missouri or vice versa and end at like Manny's, that's a walk.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how many miles that is, but that's a walk. And there's because Southwest Boulevard is evolving. Like, especially on the Kansas side, Rosedale, shout out Rosedale, stand up, let's go. But like, there's a coffee shop there now. There's a food spot. There's a little bar, little cocktail lounge on Southwest Boulevard there now. Stuff that never was there, by the way.
Yes.
And so there's actually things to stop and do there.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like, okay, once I get into Kansas, there's Rosedale Barbecue and Strasser and Dagwoods, and that's it.
Yeah.
But now there's actually stuff.
That's so true.
Keep going. So I don't know, just throwing that out there, as other things, and there's murals and other things out there.
Yeah.
too.
I mean, we've included our first Rosedale urban hike. We've kind of morphed the Rosedale urban hike route, but we went to the coffee shop 3Bs that's right there, and we went. There's some murals around there too that we showed, but it wasn't a full Southwest Boulevard urban hike. So that's a really good idea.
Shout out your boy JL.
That's right. Shout out to you.
JL.
That's right.
Rosedale, stand up.
A bi-state urban hike. We have a couple bi-state urban hikes, but this one could be more, just straight along Southwest Boulevard.
Just going along Southwest Boulevard, think about how many times you drive that and don't even think about it, But walking it, and I did walk it growing up, quite the experience just walking it, It's true when they say Missouri drivers can't drive. I'm just saying. I'm just joking. Don't kill me, everybody. That's awesome, Lisa. I think this what you're doing is incredible. I mean, we talk a lot about mental health with our podcast and with our guests. My assumption would be that you have people who may have expressed to you either they were struggling or they are struggling or with their mental health, and how this helps them, because getting out in the environment, being around, nature, the studies have said that it truly positively impacts a human mind.
Yeah.
Do you find that to be true for yourself, and do you find that to be true for the folks that join you?
Yeah, I find that for sure for myself. Like I can maybe I have a hard day, and then I give an urban hike, and I'm just like great afterwards.
Yeah.
And sometimes people,
it's like walking into the gym versus walking out of the gym.
Exactly, because it's just like what you said, Jael, that you are like the people on our urban hikes, we're interacting with each other, we're walking, we're learning, we're getting fresh air, we're interacting with nature, and all of those together, it helps.
Well, it's that redirecting that energy, into a positive form, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and into its most purest, most positive form is within yourself. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, and when your clients do that, when people do that, it just changes your whole mentality within.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful, and
absolutely.
So when you are, obviously you're walking location to location, right? So let's just say a restaurant to a restaurant, or mural to a mural, or what have you, some destination point. What are you doing between? Like, are you like, okay, we ate, we drank coffee or whatever. Okay, now we're going to walk another quarter mile. What are you doing in that time?
Yeah. So sometimes we're talking about the history as we're walking. Like I've become a pro at walking backwards, and much that I even had there was a little girl on one of my urban hikes who was about 5, and she started to imitate me, and she was walking backwards too. It was adorable. Adorable. And so sometimes we are talking about what we're seeing as we're walking.
Okay.
Because we don't only talk when we stop. And then if we don't have a lot to talk about in that moment, often I will say to the group, like, this is time to talk with whoever you came with, or talk to someone in the group. And I kind of give them permission so that, to meet someone else. And so it's a mixture.
Yeah.
But people often come with someone, so often they're just chatting away with that person that they're with.
Right.
You said that it's I think you said, if I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong, correct me. You said it was like $38 a person. Is there a rate for youth, for children as well?
Yes, we charge, it's either 25 or 28 depending on the hike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there have been kids that really get into it, and I would say, just to think about the length of it, if they're, if the child would be happy walking 4 miles. But if they are, the kids, they're usually right next to me.
And what's the age of that? And I'm asking for our guests, if people are interested in, and there's, like you said, there's kids that want to go. Is it like 12 years old? It's 25 or 28, or what's the price range and age for them?
Yeah, I would. So if it's an urban hike that we have just on the weekend that is mostly adults coming on, that's the one that costs $25 or $28 per child, and I recommend like 10 years and up. Of course, bring kids in strollers, carriers, that's fine for free. But we actually do a whole lot of kids urban hikes that are private urban hikes. So we work with a lot of schools. We've done a lot of schools in KCK that have come on urban hikes, in addition to Kansas City, Missouri, and all around. And then that one, we have a special school price. And in addition to schools, we do Girl Scouts. We've done Girls on the Run. So we often will do urban hikes that are focused on what the kids are interested in. So they go faster, and we always make either a pizza stop or an ice cream stop or a paleta stop. Like
nice.
Nice. What like for me, a senior citizen? Is there a senior citizen, right? I'm just asking because there might be people who you don't want to do. There's still a lot of very active seniors out there.
We have, I think we have a $5 discount for veterans and for senior citizens, and the way I consider senior citizens, 65 years and up. And we actually have a good part of our audience are older adults that come and they love it. And I think because they really appreciate the history and they're the ones.
It takes them back to a place.
Exactly. And they sometimes will share, this was like this when I lived here.
And they'll be like, I remember that. Or they might even give some insight.
Yes. And we always invite that. If there's someone in the group that has some insight, because we know, we don't know everything. there's so many layers of history and things to share. But we definitely have a good amount of older adults that come, and they're the ones they're very active on their own, walking a lot on their own.
Yeah.
And they love urban hikes.
Mall, man. They out there in that mall walking, boy.
Let me tell you something. I grew up going to Indian Springs with my grandma and grandpa. And they walked that mall. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. They walked that mall so much.
Y'all doing that shit, man. I love it, man.
So gotta ask you this, Lisa. What was your largest challenge going into this? Or maybe today even? Do you feel like it's changed? There's a different one now? Or talk about that. What was your challenge in the beginning?
Yeah.
Biggest challenge maybe you weren't aware of or prepared for? And then today, what are your challenges?
Yeah, I would say at the beginning, the largest challenge probably was the financial aspect of it, because at the beginning, no one knew about Urban Hikes Kansas City. I mean, I launched it and it took a while to get SEO. It took a while for people to find out. Yeah. And those first couple of years, I didn't make any money compared to, I have to pay for insurance. I pay for my website, all the other costs. And those first years, so I would say that was challenging. And then in addition to that, just when the learning to keep track of my finances the way that I should be. So like with a profit and loss sheet and a cash flow sheet, and using my accounting system, and all of that there was a learning curve for me, because I had just kept track of my personal finances, but never my business finances.
Sure.
And I have had an amazing mentor who is through the SCORE Mentors program.
Okay.
And that's a government program that anybody can have, any entrepreneur can have a mentor. And now every time I meet with her, I always have my cash flow sheet ready. I have my P&L ready for her, and we talk through, and I went from not balancing things to not knowing how to just what to call things, to I feel like it flows and I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So there was such a learning curve with the accountability aspect, because I do my own accounting, and I've learned that, and so I feel really happy to have learned that.
Okay.
And so now that's the financial aspect isn't a challenge either way. Like I'm finally making a good amount of money, and I also am managing it correctly with my financial platforms.
Well, even the marketing, right? And I would just assume, and I'm sorry but in the beginning, trying to market that.
Yeah.
And because you said, right? Like nobody knew about it.
Exactly.
So how the hell do I market this shit to what people know,
Exactly.
So that's a challenge within itself. And the operationals, which you have to learn to operate and everything.
Yes, that was a big challenge, the marketing at the beginning as well, because I remember I didn't have an Instagram account for my business. And I remember someone who worked for social media, that was her job. She came on one of my urban hikes, and she was like, you just got to start one. Like everyone starts with 0 followers.
Right.
And that, believe it or not, that was inspiration for me to launch it. And then with time, my social media presence grew, and then word of mouth in Kansas City has helped my business so much.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that in itself, so it wasn't actually active marketing that I've been doing, but my main marketing is through social media, and then and then now SEO. When at the beginning, people couldn't find my website.
Yeah. Well, I think it's good. I mean, what you got going on, obviously people are going to talk about it, because you're talking about the history that goes with it. Plus they're walking. I mean, and they're getting some educational through it. So people are going to like that. And all it takes, like we said before, JL, right? Mm-hmm. Like all it takes is one person, man. One person to say it.
We need one of these. We need one of these celebrities to go on a urban hike with you. We need like Rob Riggle or one of these folks to go on an urban hike with you, man. They rep the city so hard, man. Come do an urban hike with Lisa Peña, man.
Yes.
All right, fun questions as you wrap this up, Lisa. What would you say are your top 5 murals in Kansas City?
Wow. All right, so they
don't got to be in order.
Okay, not in order.
Just 5.
Okay, the top 5 murals. So the Love Kansas City mural by Scribe. I know you had Scribe
Let's
on
go.
here.
Love Kansas City.
That mural is so incredible because it shows so many different Kansas City icons. That could be an urban hike in itself, just talking about it. And even icons like Primitivo Garcia, who a lot of people don't know about, who was from the West Side, and he was a local hero. Mm-hmm. So I would say that one is an amazing mural, and I respect Scribe so much for painting that, and that's been there for a very long time.
Yep.
I also love the Carolina Parakeet mural that is by Fem9, that is right here in the West Bottoms underneath the bridge.
Okay.
And that I really love that mural because it represents the Carolina parakeets who are were a native bird in this area that Lewis and Clark wrote about. Can you imagine if we still had parakeets in this area? I mean, sadly they're extinct, and so that because of the story that it tells, I absolutely love that mural. I would say any of Riff Raff Giraffe's murals.
Okay.
He has a lot of murals all around, but specifically in the East Crossroads. Pretty incredible murals. And I would also, there's one mural that is such a fun mural by a St. Louis artist in Kansas City named Eyes, EYEZ. And it is around like 18th and McGee, but in the past it had a specific, there's a specific thing where you could watch it on your phone, and there were disco balls and they would actually move if you watched it through a specific app. The app is called Artivive. Artivive.
Okay.
And so that one, because it was interactive.
Yeah.
And then I would say, so I think that's 4. And then there is a series of 4 murals that recently were painted in the Darby Trotter Spirit Mall that I referenced earlier. And they're on columns that hold up I-70. And it's a series of murals. One is of Quindaro. One is about Hell's Half Acre, which was an area that was right there where the people who built the Hannibal Bridge, the first bridge that crossed the Missouri River, where they lived. And then one has, there's 2 other, one is James Pendergast, and then there's another one there that are, they're very historic murals. They're just painted. So I would say that series right there. So I would say those are my favorites.
I got a question for you. If you could walk and talk with somebody dead or alive, where would that be and who would it be?
I would say Jesus, actually.
Okay.
Because of how he looked at people in a completely different way. He didn't fit into the cultural norms, and he looked at people with compassion. Yeah. And I'm so curious what that would have been like in his time.
Yeah.
And you'd walk the Missouri River or the Kansas River? Which one?
Where would you like to walk? On the water?
Where?
That would be so cool.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Walk on the water with Jesus. That'd be
there
awesome.
You go. Yeah, I mean, if this is any hope, I'd say walk on the water.
Let's go.
Love it.
Let's go. All right. Well, listen, Lisa, this has been an incredible conversation. We're so happy for you.
Yeah.
We think that what you're doing is incredible. And we look forward to seeing where this goes with you and where this takes you.
I'm looking forward to walking with
you, man.
I swear.
Yeah.
We need to make that Interrupt KC walk a real thing.
That's right. Good. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
Sure,
Thank you for having me. It's truly a pleasure.
Absolutely. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Come check out Monarcha Art Space, everybody. 1225 Union Avenue, KCMO. 64101 D-Rod.
Yep.
Monarcha Art Space.
Lisa, is there anything you'd like to share with our people?
Yeah, I would first I want to thank Kansas City for their support of my business. And if someone is interested in coming out on an urban hike every single weekend we have urban hikes, please check us out, urbanhikeskc.com. Or if someone has a team that they want to do an urban hike with, just send us an email. And that
email, can they get you on IG too?
Yeah, they can. Definitely. Yes, through a DM through IG.
Let me see. What I do? TikTok, your Facebook, on everything.
I'm not on TikTok, but Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I know you're right. Maybe that'll be my next step.
You can make a lot of quick follows with TikTok, just filming stuff real quick.
TikTok. All right. Okay, we'll do.
Urban Hike KC, everybody.
Urban
Come
Hike
check out
KC.
Lisa, man.
Come check out our girl Lisa Peña, man.
Let's walk and talk. We can stop and eat. If you're with the
Interrupt
KC walking, we're gonna, you know what it is. Do a salute.
Let's do that.
Right? Say
salute.
Salute. Lisa. Thank you very much. Thank you for spending time with us. It was great, phenomenal. I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Interrupt KC, everybody. JL.
D-Rod right here.
We out of here. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.